Good morning, dear learners, and welcome you all to the next lecture of my course on financial literacy. We were discussing the module number 8, aspects of personal taxation in India, and today we will be going to discuss some aspects related with the personal tax planning of an individual. In the previous discussion, we had discussed how and what different kind of tax act have been enacted in our country and what are the various aspects of the Income Tax Act 1961, in which we had discussed the meaning of assessee, person, gross total income, the income tax slab rate, as well as we had discussed the meaning of rebate, surcharge and HEC, with the help of which an individual can assess their total tax liability. In today's discussion, we will be going to discuss what do we mean by the term tax planning, what are the objectives of the tax planning, and what are the different tax planning strategies that are followed in our country by different individuals for managing their taxes, and how the term tax planning is different from the tax loss harvesting. We will be also going to understand how to save taxes in India through the tax planning, and also going to discuss the concept of tax evasion and tax management and their differences. So, in today's lecture, we will be going to delve into the concepts of personal tax management of the assessee. Here you will come to know as an assessee what different kind of mechanisms you can follow to minimize your tax burden. So let us discuss all the aspects related with the tax planning in detail. So basically by tax planning we mean management of the various types of tax burden for the purpose of reducing the total tax burden of an individual. Tax planning is a vital component of overall financial planning of an individual, since it helps you to minimize the tax payment and also saves more income in your hand for the purpose of investing or managing your consumption. It also involves analyzing your financial situation by the various exemptions or deductions that may be eligible. In the case of an individual, they are analyzed by ascertaining the various details related with the financial situation and status of a person, so as to legally reduce the tax burden of the individual. So basically tax planning is a process that focuses on identifying the tax saving opportunities for one through claiming various types of expenses, deductions and investment that he has done out of their income in a particular financial year. So, it helps to increase the disposable income and minimize the tax burden for the individual. Basically, tax planning is very necessary for the nation as it helps to increase the saving and mobilization and allocation of resources towards the personal and financial goal of an individual. Basically, sound tax planning refers or include choosing the right financial instrument for the purpose of investment so as to minimize your tax burden and increase your tax efficiency. It ensures also that all the legal compliances must be adhered to with the tax laws while reducing your total tax burden, as well as for the investors, for the beginners starting their financial journey, it is necessary that they must plan their mechanisms, or you can say their modus operandi related with the tax payment, so as to have more disposable income in their hand for managing their expenditure. It is essential for creating and having a sustainable financial plan for the individual as well as for the business and corporate. So basically, tax planning is a process whereby an individual, with the help of taking into consideration the various provisions of the Income Tax Act, can minimize their tax burden by asking for deductions and exemptions that are available to them under the Income Tax Act and minimizing their total tax burden and having more disposable income in their hands. So, this is the meaning of tax planning. Now, why it is done? The various objectives of tax planning is to minimize the tax liability, as we have discussed. It gives you various tax saving opportunities with the help of which your total tax liability can be reduced. It also helps to manage the cash flow. Effective tax planning allows you to anticipate and prepare you for the tax payment and it helps you to avoid the financial burden and disruption to your cash flows, and you can manage your personal finances more effectively. As well as the objective of tax planning is to plan for the life changes also. The major life event of an individual, such as marriages, divorce or birth of a child, or starting a new business or building a home, these can significantly impact your tax burden, and accordingly the planning related with the tax may help you to adopt effective strategy to minimize the tax implication during these events of your life. Then the next objective of the tax planning is to invest strategically. Before investing into different type of investment avenues such as financial instrument in financial market or any other kind of FD in bank or any kind of financial investment avenue, must be evaluated on the criteria of tax payment. So, understanding the tax implications or different investment avenues are having, the investor can very easily choose those investment avenues that can optimize your after tax returns. So, on various investment avenue you get the deductions and exemptions that will help you to minimize your tax burden. Now, it also optimize your business opportunities. That means businesses can benefit from tax planning by maximizing the deduction and minimizing the taxable income, and understanding the various tax implication. A better financial planning for business organization can be done, and it will be helpful for the financial future of the organization. It also helps in managing the tax efficiency. That means the main objective of tax planning is to seek the optimization of the use of the tax advantages investment choices for the individual or the businesses, such as retirement planning, tax deferred accounts and tax exempt investment. So, selection of all these types of financial instrument may help you to maximize your returns and disposable income in your hand. Now, the next objective of the tax planning is to achieve the financial goals of your financial plan. So, basically tax planning may become an integral part of the financial planning, and by increasing the disposable income in your hand and minimizing your tax burden, it can help you to achieve your financial goals also. It also helps us to ensure the compliance. That means the various regulation and provisions that have been discussed under the Income Tax Act and the tax laws of the country that needs to be adhered to, and with the help of effective tax planning, an individual can take care of all the legal compliances. So, to avoid penalties, fine and other legal consequences, tax planning must be done. The next objective of the tax planning is to manage the risk involved into the financial plan. The tax planning also involves assessing and managing tax related risk of the individual, such as risk of an audit or risk of taking steps to mitigate those risks, can be taken by the individual with the help of the effective tax planning. So, these are the various objectives of the tax planning and the conceptual part related with the tax planning. Now, let us understand the different tax planning strategies in our country. So, the different tax strategies that is prevalent in our country may be divided into various categories such as short term tax planning, long term tax planning and permissive tax planning, as well as purposive tax planning are there, marginal tax planning is there, and structural tax planning may be done by the individual for the purpose of effectively planning their taxes. A short term tax planning, as the name suggests, is a kind of planning that involves the actions which minimizes the taxes of the individual in the current tax year only. That means it may include the various actions such as deferring an income or accelerating the deduction for the purpose of reducing the overall tax burden of the individual in the current financial year. A long-term tax planning, whereas, is a kind of planning that involves the actions related with the reducing the tax burden of the individual over a longer period of time. That means typically several assessment year for more. So basically it may include strategies such as retirement planning, state planning or investment planning, with the help of which the overall burden of an individual assessee for a number of years can be minimized. After that, there is permissive tax planning. This type of tax planning involves taking the advantages of tax breaks or incentives that are provided by the government authorities to reduce the tax planning. So such kind of tax deduction may be given to charitable donation or tax credit for an energy efficient investment done by the individual. So this is known as the permissive tax planning. Then there may be purposive tax planning. Purposive tax planning, as the name suggests, involves structuring financial transaction and investment of the assessee for the purpose of minimizing the total tax liability. So it may involve using the various legal tax loopholes or tax shelters that are available to an individual assessee, and by taking the advantages of those loopholes or the shelters, they can reduce their taxes. Then comes the marginal tax planning. It involves analyzing the impact of additional income or deduction on the taxpayer tax planning. So basically marginal tax rate can be minimized with the help of the marginal tax planning. Here the objective is to optimize the level of income for the individual assessee and increase the deduction to minimize the tax burden of an individual. Then the next category is known as the structural tax planning. In the structural tax planning, reorganization of business is done, or personal finance management is done for the purpose of minimizing the tax burden and increasing the tax efficiency for the organization. So for example, we can say changing the legal structure of a business, such as converting from partnership to the company form of organization, or from a sole proprietorship to the one person company, or using any kind of offshore account to reduce the total tax liability for the individual, comes under the structural tax planning. Now, let us understand what do we mean by the tax loss harvesting and how the tax planning is different from the concept of the tax loss harvesting. Basically, both are the strategies for minimizing the tax liability of an individual, but they operate in different ways and different scopes are there for every concept. So the key differences between the tax planning and the tax loss harvesting may be as follows. For tax planning, if we talk about, it has a broader scope. That means it is a holistic approach and it helps you to manage your finances in a tax efficient manner. So it involves considering the various aspects of the financial management, including the income, deduction, investment, retirement planning, and minimizing your tax burden over a longer period of time. Then it has a proactive strategy. That means it involves making decision throughout the year to optimize your tax situation. So may include the strategies such may contribute into tax advantages retirement account, or itemizing the deductions for the individual, or gifting assets. Then it has a long term focus. The tax planning must have long term focus for every individual. That means over a number of years you must be capable of reducing your tax burden with the help of tax planning. So minimization of the tax burden by considering the tax implication over a number of years is the main focus of the tax planning. So the examples of tax planning may be discussed as choosing the retirement account such as 400k IRA or both the IRA based on your income and tax bracket, bunching the deductions into a single year to exceed the standard deduction, as well as donating appreciated asset to charity to avoid the capital gain taxes. So these may be the various aspects related with the tax planning, whereas a tax loss harvesting may have a narrower scope as it is related with the specific investment strategy that may focus on using investment losses to offset the capital gains of the assessee, and potentially it may reduce your tax liability also in that particular financial year. It has a reactive strategy, that means it is more of a reactive strategy, and it involves the selling of investment or the activities that can increase the losses, with the help of which the offset of the income can be done and minimization of the tax burden can be done. It also has short term focus, that means tax loss harvesting primarily focus for minimizing the tax burden of the assessee for the current financial year only, and it mainly focus on avoiding the capital gain taxes for the individuals or the assessee. So these are the differences between the tax planning and the tax loss harvesting. Now let us understand how to save taxes in India with the help of effective tax planning. So for individuals and for corporates, we have different tax planning strategies. We are going to discuss here some of the major tax planning strategies that you can adopt, such as you can invest in tax saving instrument. So you can utilize the various deductions that we will discuss in the next lecture of our session. So from ATC to ATU, different deductions have been discussed under Income Tax Act. You can claim any of these if you have documentary evidences and you have invested in these particular investment for the purpose of minimizing your tax burden. You can use some common options under section ATC up to a limit of 1.5 lakhs, such as Public Provident Fund, Employee Provident Fund, NSC certificates, equity linked saving scheme, for life insurance premium and fixed deposit. Then you can also claim such deduction for the eligible expenses, such as if you are paying any home loan according to section 24, the interest as well as the principal amount can help you to claim some deduction. Then medical insurance premium is there. So in section 80D, you can claim the premium and expenditures related with the medical insurance premium, education tuition fee for the children, donation for registered charities and interest on education loans. Such kind of expenses can be helpful for the individual assessee for asking for deductions. Then you can opt in your salary for some tax exempt allowances, such as house rent allowance. It is exempt based on the rent paid and the salary that the assessee may receive. Leave travel allowances there. So for traveling in India, certain conditions are applied. In this particular case also, you can claim some deduction. You can claim for conveyance and transport allowances, that is again exempted to a prescribed limit for every assessee, every kind of assessee who are working in different parts of the nation. Then income with family member, you can invest in the name of your family member for minimizing your tax burden, such as for your spouse you can take a life insurance policy, for your children if you are taking any education loan or any other kind of loan, then the various types of exemptions and deductions are available. You can gift money to your family member within the legal limits to reduce your taxable income, as well as you can open fixed deposits or invest in mutual fund under their name for securing their financial future. You can also take the advantage of considering the tax implications before investing. So you need to understand the tax rules related with the capital gains. So long term capital gains, such as if you are investing into equity mutual fund up to rupees 1 lakh, then it will be tax free, and above lakh it will be taxed at a 10% rate without indexation according to the current year's financial budget. So you need to choose tax efficient investment products for the purpose of minimizing your tax burden. You can also use the tax calculators. That means certain trusted online tools are available like Tax to Win, Clear Taxes, Income Tax Department portal calculator, with the help of which you can estimate your tax liability and you can plan your deductions and investments accordingly. Now, in the next part of the discussion, we will be going to understand the meaning of tax evasion, and we will be going to understand the difference between the tax evasion and the tax planning. The tax evasion is basically a practice of minimizing your tax burden with the help of taking up some illegal practices or deliberately avoiding the payment of taxes that is owed to the government authority. So, this may involve the actions such as underreporting or concealing the income of the assessee, inflating the deductions without any valid documentary supports, falsifying the financial records or the financial reports of the business organization or the individual, or engaging in transactions that may represent or misrepresents the financial position of the assessee in that year. So, such practices are considered as the illegal activity and they come under the criminal offences under the Indian law, and they are subject to the stringent penalties and legal consequences. So, tax evasion is basically an illegal activities that should not be done by the assessee for minimizing the tax burden of theirs. Now, the various common methods that are adopted by the assessee for the purpose of minimizing their tax burdens are underreporting of the income that we had discussed in the previous slide also, that is concealing your income or underreporting your income, not declaring all sources of income for the purpose of calculating the gross total income may be a way of the tax evasion. Then you can also claim some non-existing personal expenditures for claiming some fall deduction. So, inflating of expenses may be there. Then falsifying the document, creating fake invoices, receipts to reduce your tax liability may be practice of minimizing your tax burden, and that comes under the tax evasion. Then hiding assets, not disclosing ownership of the asset, especially those are held offshore by the assessee to minimize the tax burden, may also be a practice related to the tax evasion, as well as misclassifying the transaction, presenting your personal expenses as the business expenses for the purpose of claiming deduction may be also a practice that is adopted for the purpose of tax evasion. So, these are the various activities that one assessee can do for practicing the tax evasion and minimizing their tax burden. Now, let us understand what is the difference between the tax planning and tax evasion, how the tax evasion is different from the tax planning. So, if we discuss the differences on the basis of various aspects, so the meaning of the tax planning, that is definition, is basically it is a legal strategy to minimize your tax liability by utilizing the various provisions that are included and discussed under the Income Tax Act. Whereas a tax evasion practice is illegal practice of deliberately avoiding the taxes through misrepresentation of facts and reports related with the financial status of the assessee. If we talk about the legality, the tax planning is completely legal and encouraged by the authority for the purpose of increasing the saving and investment in the economy, whereas tax evasion is totally illegal and punishable under the law. Methods used, if we talk about the aspect of methods used, we can invest into the PPF, ELSS or other such tax saving instrument, or we have talked about the various ways with the help of which we can minimize our tax burden. So, if you take help of such kind of activities for minimizing your tax burden and claim deduction, then it comes under the tax planning. Whereas, if you are underreporting your income, inflating your expenses and hiding your asset, it comes under the tax evasion practice. If we talk about on the basis of objective, what are the difference of tax planning and tax evasion, then tax planning basically is done for the purpose of minimizing your tax burden and achieving your long-term financial goals within the legal boundaries, whereas unlawfully, if you avoid your payment of taxes, that may be the objective of the tax evasion. If we talk about the consequences of the tax planning, it helps you in tax saving, and compliance with law is also possible with the help of the effective tax planning, whereas in case of the tax evasion, fines, penalties, prosecution, imprisonment also may be a consequence of the tax evasion done by an individual. Now, if we talk about the ethical consideration, then obviously tax planning is ethical and it aligns with the intent of tax laws, whereas tax evasion is totally unethical and violates the spirit of the law. That simply means that tax planning must be encouraged among the assessees for minimizing the tax burden, whereas tax evasion must not be encouraged and it should be discouraged because it is illegal in nature and unethical and may have various consequences such as imprisonment, fines and penalties for the assessee under the Income Tax Act of the country. Now, next we will be going to understand what is tax management and how it is different from the tax planning. So, tax planning is a narrower scope, we can say, and tax management have a broader scope, and basically it refers to the administrative and procedural aspects related with the handling and management of taxes. So, it ensures that all the regulatory compliances must be adhered to by the assessees. Timely fulfillment of tax obligation must be done by the assessee for managing their personal finances well. So, key characteristics of the tax management are to ensure the accurate calculation of the taxes, timely payment of the taxes, filing of taxes and thereby avoiding any kind of penalties or fine for the assessee. The approach of the tax management is reactive and focused on the present scenario. That means it deals with the current tax responsibility of an assessee. If we talk about the scope, it has a narrower scope and concentrate on compliances, documentation and adherence to the deadlines that are mentioned into the Income Tax Act. For example, filing income tax return within the stipulated deadline is a aspect of the tax management activities, as well as maintaining records of income, investments and deduction is also a tax management activity. So, responding to the notices from the authority, ensuring accurate tax payment, all these different activities are done to manage and handle the taxes that is imposed to an individual for the purpose of effective collection of taxes. If we talk about a comparative overview, then tax planning basically focuses on future tax liabilities of the assessee, whereas the tax management ensure that all the regulation and current tax compliances must be fulfilled by the assessee. If we talk about the timing, before or during the financial year, tax planning must be done by the assessee to avoid any kind of consequences, whereas the tax management is done throughout and after the financial year to avoid any legal complexity for the assessee. If we talk about nature, the tax planning is strategic and proactive, whereas tax management is administrative and reactive. Scope of the tax planning is broader. It includes investment, income structuring and claiming deduction, etc. Whereas in case of the tax management, the scope is specific. It focuses on the regulation and compliances, that means filing of return, maintaining records. These specific objectives are there under the tax management. If we talk about objective, the objective of the tax planning is maintaining efficiency in the assessment and payment of taxes and increasing the savings for an individual, whereas in case of the tax management, the objective is to legally comply to all the rules and regulation and to maintain the accuracy in the payment of taxes by the assessee. So with this we come to an end to the present lecture, in which we have discussed the various issues that a person needs to take care while managing their personal finances and ascertaining their tax burden. For effectively managing your financial resources and paying your taxes to the authority, you need to understand the importance of the tax planning and tax management, and you need to also understand the various rules and regulations given under the Income Tax Act, so that you can plan and manage your taxes accordingly and avoid any legal complexity and financial stress in your personal financial management. So I hope this lecture will be helpful for you all for the purpose of tax management, tax planning, as well as your overall financial management. So with this we come to an end of this lecture. Thank you.